Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever Buckethead Studios Q&A. I reached out to you guys on social media and you didn't disappoint. You came back with lots of great questions, so I'm going to do my best to answer them. We're going to have a drink. Let's do that. Yeah. In case you're wondering, I love ginger beer on the recommendation of Adam Savage. Try it out, Bundaberg. It is great. I do recommend it if you are a fan. Cheers. So we've got some great questions here, so I'm just going to dive right in. Now the first question was asked by quite a few of you, and it is, how did you get into props, or what started it all? Honestly, starting, I was actually always interested in history. I still am interested in history, and I used to go to all of the reenactment fairs and things that they did around here. We had a few that would happen all over the summer period usually, and that would be people reenacting as different wars. There was one that I really loved where they did sort of Stone Age all the way up to sort of World War II. So there were Vikings and Napoleonic people there, and I always loved going to see that. And then I discovered that people do this and do it for popular culture as well, and I thought, wow, that sounds like something that I would want to do. I couldn't tell you exactly when. My fandom sort of became more of a hobby, an obsession and passion, but it developed into that, and I thought, let's make some things from this. I do intend to cross over into that history a little bit and do a new cosplay, and that's going to be my main cosplay for this year. Now, in terms of the first thing I ever made, I was big into the game Destiny. I played that a whole lot when that came out, and that was actually the first thing I ever wanted to cosplay from. I thought I could make something like this. Like, I think I could do that. I did lots of research. 3D printers weren't really a thing back then, and they were very new and very expensive. And so the only thing I found I could do was Pepakura. I thought, I've got a printer. I can get some like board. I can do this. And actually, I'll show you the first thing I ever made. I've never shown this, I don't think, on here, but the first thing I ever made is this helmet from Destiny. I was an avid warlock over on Destiny. I always played as a warlock, and I just love the design of this helmet, and someone did a great Pepakura file of this helmet, which is what this is made from. But yeah, I overestimated the size of this quite a bit, and this is quite evident. It looks fine, but look at the size of this. Look at it. I finished it anyway. This should be sort of relative size to like an Iron Man helmet. Look, it's very close to like an Iron Man helmet, but look how huge this thing is. It was sort of wearable, and I can wear it, but yeah, this was the first thing I ever made, and never did the costume, never completed it, but this was what got me started, and I still have it. It's one of those things that's not great, but you can't bring yourself to kind of part with it just yet. In Kronos Wake asks, that's my mate Jez, hi Jez, asked, what aspect of Star Wars made you love it? I think what it is about Star Wars is that it's the classic kind of hero story. So you've got, you can look up, I can't remember who did it, I'll put it up on screen, but it's the classic hero story where you get a hero, a wizard, a princess, like a rogue. It's the classic like archetypal hero story, and putting that in sort of a fantasy space setting, I'm in, I'm sold, I love it. So that's part of what it is, but I think what I love most is the aesthetic of Star Wars. The fact that it's not like sci-fi, it's not brilliantly shiny, glistening, everything pristine clean. Sure, there is some of that, but for the most part it is dirty as hell, and it's like just rough, and it's exactly what you would think something would be. Everything would be dirty, and kind of there's things that are just cobbled together looking, and the original trilogy especially did this, and it's got that World War II influence in all the kind of look of things, and in all the blasters. They're all based off of World War II guns, or somewhere earlier, but yeah, just the whole aesthetic of it is just very pleasing and appeals to me. DFC Props asks, what tool can't you live without? I don't think I use any one tool more than another, in that, you know, lots of projects require different different tools, different skill sets, and I tend to be quite broad in the kind of projects that I do cover. Having said that, you can't go wrong. I'm gonna say two. You can't go wrong with an X-Acto blade, incredibly handy with a fresh blade. There's not a lot of things that you can't cut when it comes to this. Obviously wood and metal, but when it comes to sort of papers, materials, plastics, a sharp X-Acto will get you a lot of the way there. And a simple black pen. Like, I found these are very cheap, but they are black markers. They are very thin. I use these for everything, so yeah. A pen and a knife will get you most of the way there. Gilles Hug, I think that's how you say your name. I'm sorry if I butcher it. Gilles asks, "Are we making a Force for Change event in my local hospital with the Stormtrooper suit? Any tips?" So this is like a charity trip to a hospital. I've been fortunate enough to do, I think 3 of these now. One of them going to cancer wards with children being treated with chemotherapy and things like that. Any tips? It's a very difficult day. Like, obviously not in terms of physical, costumes are uncomfortable anyway, but mentally it is something you should be ready for. It's a very serious thing you go and see, and if you're like myself and you've been fortunate enough not to come across anything like that and have to go and be a part of that as part of your daily life, yeah, it's definitely something you have to prepare mentally for. Having said that, if you do go with a group, and I always go with my group and group of friends, you tend to all have fun together, and that fun just exudes out of you and can help brighten everyone's day. So yeah, I recommend going with some friends, having fun, and just seeing if you can bring that bit of light into their day. Yeah, it's just very difficult. She'll send a few questions on there, so I'm going to answer those for you too. What do you most like in your YouTube content? Making the props, thinking before, the result, or the comments? I don't know. I like bringing you guys along, because I feel like, you know, we can have this experience together once I've done it. You know, I guess there's a kind of therapeutical aspect to it. Like in now, like I'm talking to you guys. You're not here. It's my camera. But you are here, and you will be here, and you will be hearing what I'm saying. So bringing you guys into my sort of journey of a prop build just helps me kind of experience that whole prop building in a different way. So I love that. I love planning. I do love planning the cosplays. Doing research and stuff is absolutely a joy to me. I love looking to see where I can find pieces, doing research on the costumes, seeing everything that I can find. I do love that. And of course, I do love reading your comments. Once I have shared the content with you, I love seeing how you guys experience it and interact with it. So it's not really answering your question. I like the whole thing, I think, is the answer. I like the whole process of it, and yeah, that's why I do it. Any advice for someone without a lot of material and money? This is a tricky one, because obviously when you first start out, you don't have a lot of tools, you don't have a lot of materials, you don't have much money to put into it. My advice would be do what you can. Like, buy the materials that you can afford, buy some tools that you can afford. Like I said before, like a pen and a sharp knife will get you quite a lot of the way in making something really cool. I think in terms of the sort of materials and money, you have to, there's usually some sacrifice involved. So like, instead of going to the cinema or going for that drink on a night out, you say, I'm going to buy some sheet aluminium instead, and that's just going to be what I'm going to do, and we're going to spend the weekend making the thing. It's all about putting little bits in where you can and picking up little bits where you can, and yeah, don't have that cup of coffee, buy some glue, you know. it's all about just a little thing here and there, and you should be able to build up what you have. And if it's sort of space as well, I use quite a small space. I have a really kind of small desk. Luckily we've got the garage too with all the tools in, but yeah, you don't need a hell of a lot of space to make cool stuff. Peyton Olander 2006 asks, will you do any more Clone Wars cosplays, Jedi clones, etc.? As of right now, I don't have any plans to do those. I've actually sold my Plo Koon. If you guys have watched my videos and saw the Plo Koon build, that costume actually has a new home. I did keep the lightsaber, just because, you know, I do collect lightsabers, so I kept the lightsaber, but the rest of the costume has gone. I still have my clone. I don't have any plans to do any more. I think the only one I would consider, I mean, I could do an animated clone, but Obi-Wan Kenobi, that one is one I would consider. Other than that, no more Clone Wars I think planned. Yeah, I'm afraid, sorry. I love the prequels, I love the Clone Wars. We've got Jango Fett, you know, on its way. That's quite an expensive costume too. I think it's sort of cost versus space versus time, in that order really. Yeah, which kind of governs what I build. And as much as I love the Clone Wars as a TV show, I can't see myself investing in a costume too soon. And I think we'll just pause it there for this session. We'll call this part 1. There will be a part 2 where I answer the rest of the questions you guys have sent, with some fantastic questions still to come. I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay safe and take care. Bye bye. Did you like that? This is what the people do now, right? Like this. I'm so old. Why am I so old? Oh God. Look at me, I'm a vlogger. God. 2021.